All right. So, for so many people out there, especially in places like the U.S., Argentina, or Brazil, people with Italian roots, I mean,
Yeah.
connecting with their heritage through Italian citizenship has been a real thing, uh, all because of this principle called jus sanguinis,
Yeah.
of blood.
Yeah.
And millions have gone this route, reconnected with their family history.
Yeah.
But things are changing in Italy,
Yeah.
big time, and it might slam the door shut on that pathway. So let's dive into this.
Sounds good.
So basically, Italy's making some major changes to its citizenship laws,
Hmm?
changes that could really impact anyone hoping to claim citizenship through a great-grandparent.
Absolutely. Huge implications. Yeah.
So to understand this shift, we need to go back to basics for a sec. Before all this went down, if someone wanted to claim Italian citizenship through their heritage, what was the key thing they needed to know?
Well, it all boiled down to this concept called jus sanguinis, which essentially means right of blood. So if you could trace your Italian ancestry, even if it went as far back as your great-grandparents, you basically had a path to becoming an Italian citizen.
Okay.
And this really opened up opportunities for, I mean, tons of people, right, whose families had emigrated, generations ago. It was a way to reclaim that connection.
Yeah, and it sounds like a lot of people took advantage of that. So what's going on now? What's pushing Italy to change this system after all this time?
Right. Well, the Italian government's saying there are a few big reasons behind this.
Okay.
One is just the sheer volume of applications. There's been a massive surge in recent years, and it's created a real backlog, putting a strain on their whole system.
So basically they can't keep up.
It's tough, yeah. And then there's also this concern about, well, the motivations behind some applications. I mean, some people are worried that folks are seeking Italian citizenship mainly to get those EU benefits.
I see.
The ability to live and work freely across Europe without necessarily having like deep ties to Italy itself.
Yeah, interesting. So more like a practical thing.
Kind of, yeah. And then I guess the last thing is this kind of fits into a bigger picture across Europe. You're seeing a lot of countries rethinking their immigration and nationality laws, often making them, more strict.
Yeah, that's definitely a trend. So let's talk brass tacks here. What does this actually mean for someone hoping to get citizenship through their great-grandparent?
Well, in a nutshell, it might not be possible anymore.
Wow.
The new rules are pointing towards restricting it to, like, direct descendants,
Yeah.
maybe only as far back as grandparents.
Okay.
And even then, the whole process is likely to get a lot tougher. Could be new requirements, like living in Italy for a certain amount of time, or even passing a language test.
So this is pretty major. Some serious implications. Now, there are always two sides to every story.
Mhm.
So let's hear them. What are the folks who support this change saying? Why do they think this is the right move for Italy?
Generally, the people who are on board with this are saying it'll help prevent what they see as, like, weaker claims, people who are maybe too distantly related,
Right.
or folks who are just in it for the benefits. They
Mhm.
want to make sure that new citizens have a real connection to Italy. And they also say this is about, like, modernizing the system, making it work better with the volume of applications they're dealing with.
Makes sense. What about the other side? The
Yeah.
people who aren't happy about this change? What are their main concerns?
Yeah, well, the critics are saying this is going to unfairly exclude people who do have deep ties to Italy,
Okay.
culturally, historically, even if they're a few generations removed.
Mhm.
For a lot of these folks, claiming citizenship was like a way to officially embrace this part of themselves.
Right.
And this feels like a real slap in the face.
It's a loss of a connection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what happens now? Where does this go from here? What about people who are already in the process of applying?
It's a good question. There might be like a short window for applications that are already underway before the new law fully kicks in, but that's not totally clear yet. It's also pretty likely that we'll see legal challenges, diaspora communities trying to fight this.
Yeah.
And I think it's also worth thinking about, like, the ripple effect. Could this influence other European countries? Will they look at their own citizenship laws and think, maybe we should do something similar?
Yeah. This definitely raises some big questions about what it means to be a citizen in today's world. How do countries balance these historical ties with the realities of today? It's a complex issue, and Italy's decision really throws it into sharp relief, especially for anyone out there with Italian heritage. It makes you think about belonging, what it means in a globalized world. So thanks for joining us for this deep dive, folks. It's definitely something to ponder.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
See you later.